Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you an OP Great Stars build guide for an Elden Ring. This can actually stunlock Malenia and beat a ton of bosses. I'll be showing you the full guide here and how to use this. So, with this weapon, we're going to be doing a level 150 build, but if you're a lower level, I'll show you the stats that you do need. So this is actually a pretty low stat requirement. You only need 22 strength and 12 dexterity in order to wield this. Now, you don't need to use a fingerprint stone shield, but I find it works very well here as we want to go all in on our strength. So I have it set as a heavy Great Stars. At 50 strength, this gives us 305 physical and 305 from our strength, so that's actually pretty good. And the nice thing about this is it does blood loss buildup, and we can further stack this, so I'll show you some cool synergies here. So at level 150, we got 50 vigor. Now, if you're leveling, take your vigor up to 30 first, and then get the 22 strength, 12 dex to be able to equip this. If you don't have 22 strength, you can two-handed, and it halves the requirement, so, or you only have to have about 12 or 16 strength to be able to two-hand it. Now, for our mind, I have it at 28 because we got the prelates charge here. This is a extremely powerful weapon art, and this can stunlock Malenia. So I have a guide on how to stunlock Malenia. It's on my channel. But we're using 48 endurance. This allows us to medium roll. We want to have at least 56 poise, 51 at the very minimum. That allows you to resist one light attack, but 56 is even better. Now, I am using the Great Jar's Arsenal to be able to equip all of this here, but you can use whatever type of armor you want. It's not as important, but just as long as you get that poise up there. Now, I'm also going with 15 Faith and 16 Arcane. This allows us to cast a couple incantations like Swarm of Flies and Blood Flame Blade, which will further increase our damage, as well as Flame Grant Me Strength. So I have the 12 dexterity for this, and then on top of all that, for Talisman, I'm using the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman. You can use just the base Turtle Talisman, but this just increases your stamina recovery speed. You can go with some other damage ones. I have the Great Jar Arsenal, and then also I have the blocking Talisman on here. But the Shard of Alexander, if you're going to be using the Fire Prelates charge often, will increase the damage that you can do with that. And if you don't find that you're using it often, the Ritual Sword Talisman's great because whenever you have full health, you'll be able to deal more damage. And the Great Stars actually heals you, so that makes it easy to keep your health topped up. If you're not using that, the Lord of Blood's Exaltation is great because this will increase your attack power whenever there's bleed triggered, and you can pair that with the White Mask Helmet to be able to further increase that damage. But typically what we want to do in combat is we want to get in there with our fire charge, or the prelates charge here, so you can start off with this and then hit them with that, and it'll basically knock them like that for you to attack them a couple more times. What's cool about this is you can use this to move around, and then you can create a little fire trail around you there. So you can see this here. We're just going to go up and hit them, and you just knock them into the sky, which is hilarious. But the nice part about this weapon is you get all your health back as you continue to attack. So you can do your charge heavy attacks with this weapon, and they do a ton of damage and posture damage as well. What's cool too is you can hit Flame Grant Me Strength and then buff this weapon up with Blood Flame Blade. So this will further increase the damage that we can do. And I also like to have the shield there for just protection, but you can see it does a ton of damage, and then once we trigger our bleed, we'll be able to one-shot these guys with this attack. So the charge attacks are pretty powerful on this. Oh, we almost went off the edge too. And then you have your shield there for just being able to block and take hits. So having a shield is really underrated. You don't need the shield. This isn't a weapon that'll allow you to attack well. We got the bleed triggered there. This doesn't allow you to attack while blocking like some of the spears and other weapons can. But just being able to tank some hits is really important. So against some bosses, you can literally just stand there holding your shield up, watching your endurance, and then the moment that you get a free moment to attack, you'll be able to attack and heal back all your health. So extremely powerful. Then we have the prelates charge there to be able to knock them up into the air. With Malenia can literally just continue to stagger her with that. So it's very powerful because you don't even have to think. You just literally keep pressing L2, 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 and she just keeps getting thrown up into the air. I would say that the best benefit of this weapon is that innate healing that it has. And top of that, the innate bleed. It's kind of a dual whammy of a weapon because you get both of those from this, and you can also two-hand it for a little bit extra damage, which is nice. So you can pop up your Blood Flame Blade, throw on your Flame Grant Me Strength. You always want to have these two up, and then you can just two-hand the weapon, and you get some different attacks there. So that was pretty powerful. 800 damage there, and the attacks are a little bit faster whenever you two-hand it, so that is a nice benefit there. If you focus more so on dodge rolling, two-hand this thing because it's going to attack a lot faster. Whoa! Crap, we just got jumped there. and taken out. So I guess the biggest benefit of this weapon is to focus on the innate healing, so that doesn't happen. But also, we have our shield there for survivability's sake. You can play the long game with a lot of bosses, because if you conserve your stamina, or if you conserve your Crimson Flask, you can tank a bunch of hits and then use the weapon to be able to regain your health, and then you don't even have to heal. On top of that, it does a ton of posture damage, so we can take enemies out that way. And you can even do like jump attacks to get a little bit extra momentum behind your hits there. I find jump attacks are a little bit easier to land too, so you can go with that. And geez, stun locked, and then you can get your, see there, we got our posture break pretty easily. So that is I guess the best part about this weapon, besides the bleed and healing, is you can get posture breaks pretty quick and easy. So there we go, there's 3 hits, posture break, and then you can get your critical hits off. Now, this weapon goes extremely hard. Always be using that prelates charge whenever you can, because it does a lot of posture damage as well, and it can knock some enemies down. So, yeah, very powerful weapon in Elden Ring, and it's a whole lot of fun too, because you get that big fiery attack there. This weapon is also good if you want to use your greases, because the greases will give you like things like frostbite. I highly recommend using like the freezing grease on this, because that extra damage that you'll get from frost on top of bleed when you proc both of them at the same time is incredible. So, and then you can also use the fire prelates charge to remove frostbite. Even though you'll do an extra 20% damage, you can stack your frostbite charges up multiple times with that. So yeah, the Great Stars is a very good weapon in Elden Ring. If you found this video useful, please hit that subscribe button below, and I'll see you all in the next video.